Greetings, everyone. I'm Pete Pardo from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to pick and day number 22 of my 31 favorite album blind buys of all time. We're finishing up. We got, 9 days left, 8 days after today, right? So we're finishing up this month talking about those albums that we bought sight unseen. Well, that's a weird way to say it. But, you saw an album cover in a store, at a flea market, at a festival, at a yard sale, garage sale, right? Whatever. You saw an album sitting in a box, in a bin, in the racks on the wall. You saw that album cover and you're like, oh, that's pretty damn cool. I really like that. Maybe you heard the band or artist, or heard of them, I should say, didn't know their music. That's the key here. You'd never heard the music before. Or maybe some totally new to you, but man, that album cover, you just couldn't walk away from it. And you were like, you know what? I'm going to buy that. Take a chance on it. Haven't heard it, but maybe I'll love it. And you take it home, and in the ones we're talking about this month, you really loved. There's probably many instances of blind buys that we took a chance on, that we got home, we're like, ugh, this sucks, right? We've all had those. But this is about the good ones, the ones that from that point on you became a fan of that band or artist. So today I'm going to talk about an EP that I bought from this band. I had never heard of this band before. This is one of the first things that I ever bought from Steve Keeler. I know I've talked about a couple that I bought from Steve this month so far, but I believe this might have been the first. If it wasn't the first, it was the second. I know I may have. There have been a couple really early things. I remember a lot of the early ones that I got from Steve when he first opened up Rock Fantasy back in 1985. But I think this might have been the first, or like I said, if it wasn't the first, it was the second. So, it's a long time ago. It's 40 years ago. By the way, before I forget, for those of you who live kind of in the Hudson Valley area, Steve Keeler is celebrating the 40th anniversary of Rock Fantasy on November 1st at Clemson Brewery in Middletown, New York. A whole bunch of bands playing. It's not the full day, but it's a good chunk of the day. There'll be food available at the brewery and beer all day and lots of bands all day long. So come down and celebrate with us. I will be there as well as many SOT folks will be there celebrating 40 years of Rock Fantasy. Steve Keeler, the man. So back to this. So yes, I did buy this album from him, this EP from him. And it was originally released, I believe, in August 1985. Yes, it was recorded at Kayat Studio in Berlin, Germany, as well as other tracks recorded at Line In Recording Studio in Zurich, Switzerland. The reason for that is because a few of the songs were taken from the band's debut album and a few newly recorded with their brand new drummer. And this was released on in Europe. It was the import that I bought on Noise Records, eventually re-released on Enigma and Metal Blade here in the States. And eventually this EP was tacked on to 2 other albums. More on that in a little bit. And I'm going to show you, because I actually, on CD, I have it tacked on to their debut album. Well, as one package, but inside they do have a cool shot of the cover, which is The Emperor's Return from Celtic Frost. So, yeah. So just imagine, I wish this was bigger, but this is the album cover right here. So I saw that on Steve's wall. And here is the band with their brand new drummer, Mr. Reed St. Mark, a personal friend of mine. And the rest of the guys, Tom G. Warrior, Martin Eric Ain, right? So I saw this, and you really can't tell from this, but this had this weird kind of like green hue to the album cover. And then you see this image of the demon with the 3 scantily clad ladies, right? And then on the back was a cool picture of the photograph of the band, which I believe it was this one, maybe? I don't remember. I'm trying to remember exactly which shot it was. But anyway, I saw that, and I was like, that is like the coolest album cover I've seen in a while, because it's got kind of like this, almost like Frank Frazetta or like Boris Vallejo look to it. I'm trying to think of who did the album cover. Let me see. Phil Lauvier, something like that, did the cover art. I'm not sure who that is, but man, absolutely love it. And I took it home, and again, I wasn't a guy. Well, I would buy EPs now and then, but I wasn't buying a ton of EPs because basically I was like, God, they're so damn short, right? This only had 5 tracks on it. So on side 1, we get Circle of the Tyrants and Morbid Tales, and of course, Circle of the Tyrants was a brand new track. Morbid Tales from their first album, which I bought shortly after this, right? Because I love this so much. And then over on side 2, you've got Dethroned Emperor. It's Dethroned Emperor, or Dethroned Emperor, right? How they say it. Visual Aggression and Suicidal Winds were the other two tracks. So now, on the album, on the EP, I should say, the musicians are Tom G. Warrior, of course, guitars and vocals. We got Martin Ain on bass. You got Reed St. Mark, who plays drums on 3 of the tracks, and then their original drummer, Stephen Priestley, plays drums on the 2 songs that came off of the Morbid Tales album. That would be Morbid Tales and Dethroned Emperor, or Emperor, however you want to say it. The other 3 songs have Reed St. Mark on drums. And this is, what do you call this stuff? A lot of people cite this band, by the way, this is the Morbid Tales album cover. A lot of people cite Celtic Frost as one of the original kind of like black metal bands. Not so much that the music sounds like black metal, because to me there's more doom in Celtic Frost, but it's like the way they looked, and I think, maybe the vocal style of Tom. But it's kind of like this weird mix of early black and death metal. There's certainly some thrash elements as well. There's certainly some doom elements as well. To me, this Swiss band, Reed, of course, is American, but the other 2 guys are Swiss bands. This band, one of the most unique heavy metal bands ever. Really, you listen to those first few albums, up until like Cold Lake, nobody sounds like them. Just they're from another planet. Just so good. And I really fell in love with this EP, and then I had to get more. And, the good thing is I went and bought the debut shortly thereafter, and then To Megatherion was out shortly thereafter that. So it's like you had all this Celtic Frost to get like real quick, and I just was totally into these guys. I got to see them live once as well. Really cool. But for me on this EP, man, Circle of the Tyrants is a killer track. I love Dethroned Emperor. And then you got, Morbid Tales, Fast and Furious. Visual Aggression is crushingly heavy, and then Suicidal Winds is just weird, eerie, just very cool stuff. There's nothing like this. 21 minutes long. Well worth your time, though. So that is my pick for today. Like I said, put it away, and I'll bring it back out. The Emperor's Return from Celtic Frost. That was my blind buy. That was my introduction to Celtic Frost. I want to thank Steve Keeler for getting me into Celtic Frost, and then motioning me towards that. He saw how into the cover I was loving that cover, and he's like, yeah, he goes, you'll like this. It was cheap too. And even though it was an import, it wasn't that expensive. So I brought it home with me. Absolutely loved it. Needed more. So that's the way it should work, right? So thanks for watching. Let us know what your blind buy pick is for today, as well as any comments you might have on this particular EP from Celtic Frost. And we'll see you tomorrow for another one. Visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, we're on Instagram all the damn time. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and click on that notification bell so you get alert of all of our content as a post. And please do hit the like button before you leave. Also down below we got the links to our Ko-Fi page for channel donations, our merch page, our Cameo page, and the Sea of Tranquility membership options, all down there. Thanks in advance for all your support, folks. It's greatly appreciated, and we'll see you soon here with more stuff. I am Pete Pardo. Tune in to, we got Friday Morning at the Funhouse on Friday with Martin Popoff and myself, trying to figure out what the first ever progressive metal album was. That's what we're talking about, right? We're kind of continuing on this series, trying to find the first official album of a certain style of music, right? So that's coming up on Friday. We've got the Professor's Picks on Friday as well. We've got a couple episodes of Album Homework Assignment coming up on Saturday. You got Martin and myself going head-to-head, and you got Craig Kaminsky and Guitar Hack going head-to-head. That's coming up on Saturday. And then Sunday, George Lemay and I will be ranking the albums of Iceberg. So all that's coming up this weekend. Till then, I am Pete Pardo. Thanks for watching, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.